So I wanted to explore something that I've seen with my clients and the people that I work with, also myself, which is scripting your videos. I create content for a lot of businesses and for myself, and what I've found is when you are highly focused on reading a script, especially for short form content, your content is going to end up being horrible. It's going to be hard to film and it's also going to sound robotic. I want to give you an example. I want to share a real story, something that happened just 2 days ago. So I was filming with a client of mine, and when I arrived, and this is actually pretty typical that this happens, I'll hand them the content strategy that I made for them and the content plan, and they'll go ahead and grab that content plan and then they'll make full scripts out of every idea that I sent them. And I used to just think, okay, this is great. They obviously want to prepare. They obviously want to make a good impression in their videos. Awesome. But what I found is when filming, when you create this content plan from ChatGPT especially, because a lot of the times what they're doing is they're grabbing that plan that I gave them and they're passing that through ChatGPT and telling them to write scripts. One, the copy is not great. So ChatGPT is not an expert on social media, and it probably never will be. Two, 90% of the time, these clients have little to no experience filming and making short form content. So when they try to say all these words and they're hyper focused on these scripts, they're just overthinking and they don't like how it sounds, they sound robotic, and it just makes the process hard for everyone. And I've also noticed it's draining for them. So when you make content, you don't want it to be a draining experience for you. Especially if you know it's something that you need for your business, it does not have to be draining. Now, so going back to the story, I get there, she's got scripts, and we start filming. What I notice is she's trying to go line by line with the scripts, and eventually you can get pretty good at going line by line with the script, but it's still a little difficult and it'll still sound robotic. That's the main thing as well. It won't really sound like you. Especially if you just kind of copy and pasted something into ChatGPT and had it write a script for you. It does not know who you are, it does not know you extensively, and so it's not going to be able to sound like you. Now, what we did was after those scripts, we decided to film some more videos with a different person in her business. And initially she started following the script, and again, it sounded robotic, it was kind of tough to make, it was a little bit draining in terms of energy on her end, but then we got to the portion where she's actually talking about the product, and she says, hey, you know what, let's cut the script here, and I'll just talk about it based on what I know. And everything just started flowing, this, and that, and this is what it helps with. And it was amazing, and it sounded like a real human, it sounded authentic, and it just flowed. It just came out, it was easy for her, it was easy for me, it was easy for everyone, and it looked better as well. Now, I want this experience for everyone that I work with. It's sometimes just a bit difficult because everyone's got different levels of knowledge on the topic that they're talking about, everyone's got different levels of comfort, and also a lot of people are just really in their heads, especially when you hand them some sort of script or some sort of notes. And so my recommendation to you is have a very, very bare bones content plan. What that can look like is, search up your ideas, search up your competitors, find the kinds of videos you want to make. And then if you're really trying to focus on organic social media, copy the script or copy the hook or create the hook and read that line by line, and then just do 3-word bullet points. So 1 word for 1 bullet point, another word for another bullet point, and the last word for the last bullet point. This is going to make sure that you know what you're going to cover and in the order you're going to cover it, but you're not constraining yourself to anything. And the best thing about it too is once you create that first video, just going off these bullet points, you can then rewatch it and say, okay, I like this part, I didn't like that part, let's refilm it again, and I'll iterate on that, and it'll be even better the next time I film it. So here's my recommendation to you. Whenever you're going to film a piece of content, you want to have a plan. Yes, you want to know exactly what you're going to talk about. You might even script out the hook and script out the final CTA if it's an ad, but in between, keep it very, very minimal, and just pretend like you're talking to someone. Another thing that you can do is you can just have someone behind the camera asking you these questions so that you can kind of just talk to them. The only difference between talking to someone and having someone behind the camera is that instead of looking them in the eyes or in the face, you're looking at a lens. That's the only difference. This is the way I treat this video. I didn't have any script. I just had an idea that I wanted to share because of the patterns that I've seen. And I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to a person. That's why I've been able to make this video in one take in roughly about 10 minutes. So if you want to learn more about how to make better content, how to make better ads that are profitable for your business, click the link down below, message me on Instagram, the word grow, and I'll get back to you with more information with that.